Hi everyone, this is English with May and welcome to some grammar review, which will be based on our discussion of the topic toys, children's toys. So here I have copied most of the comments that I found in our comment chat on Telegram. So here's the list of some mistakes and my explanation. So let's start. Let's start with the first answer. There was a sentence to answer on Monday, so I decided to wait the other answer. So let me find my pen. Okay, so the first is when you use the verb to wait, ждать, ожидать кого-то, чего-то. In Russian, we don't use any preposition, but it's English, it is quite necessary. So we need to add wait for something or somebody. To wait for. Okay, it's a little bit slow. The other answers. What is wrong with the other? So the mistake is called wrong word, or maybe I would even call it wrong form. So other, this is the key unit in this type of mistake. When you use the phrase the other, we usually mean something specific. Okay. I will give an example a little bit later because there will be the topic. I'm going to record like a full video explaining the differences of other, another, the other, etc. But now just remember that in the combination of the article the plus other or others usually means or indicates that you have really specific item or items in your mind. But here we don't have any specificity because we don't really know which answers you're going to see in the future. So here, the best way to say this, to wait for other answers. So we just drop the article and it becomes not specific anymore. Some other answers. Okay, so another word that you can use instead is some other answers. So let's move on. Okay, I remember that I've been loving the toy. So the problem is here that usually the verb to love is not used in continuous form. So this is wrong tense. Plus, when we talk about some past events, some facts from your past experiences, we typically use past tenses. Yes, and there are different variations. You can use past simple or past continuous, past perfect sometimes. But this is the case for I remember that I loved the toy, which will explain the idea that when you were a child, you loved the toy. It was like your regular action, or it was a true fact about you in the past. So I loved the toy. I like the lioness. So maybe it's a wrong word. I think you meant львенок. But if you Google for the word lioness, it will usually give you an idea of a lion, of a she lion. So this is an adult lion species, but a female lion. Okay, so this would what a lioness typically means for a native speaker. If you want to express like a kid of somebody, you can say like a baby lion, for example. Baby lion. Okay, my pen is slow today again. Baby lion or kid lion would be also kind of more understandable. Here, the cartoon movie, I put there a wrong word mark, but actually I would just exclude the word movie because by the word cartoon, we already understand what is meant. So movie is like an extra word and we don't need it here. Cartoon is мультик, right? So we don't need extra words. In my parents' cabinet, I've put a wrong word mark, but with a question, because in the English language, the word cabinet means ящик or тумба or навесной шкаф. All right, so typically тумба or навесной шкаф. If you mean specifically this item, then cabinet is good. If you mean a room, like a special room with a desk and an office chair where a person usually works, is busy with some important stuff, in English, they would call it an office. In my parents' office. In my parents' office. So a cabinet in the English language as a false friend of translator, ложный друг переводчика. Let's move on. You also like play with little kitties, I remember. So here, what we should pay attention to is a little bit of grammar. So if you want to use two words, but without a comma, без запятой, yeah, so it will not be like an accumulation of verbs. You have to use something in between, and this would be the particle to, which will indicate that play is an infinitive here. Тебе также нравилось, что делать, да? Что делать, что сделать. These are the questions that we use for infinitives, so to is necessary here. And maybe wrong tense, because probably a person was asking about some past experiences, so I would say also liked to play, meaning when a person was a child. Okay, in this section, that was it, and we move to some other stuff. When I was a child, typically with a comma, if you start a sentence with when or before or after, and here you have subject verb, and then you continue the sentence with another subject verb, like here. Okay, when or before or after. Typically we use a comma here, or if. So any type of conjunction, сложно сочиненный союз. Okay, to bring our toys and play with it together. So wrong form or wrong word, choose any. Why it is a mistake? Because to bring our toys, so this is a plural word form, and it is referred to something that is singular. So we have to change it to play with them together. С ними, да, то есть с кем? С ними, с игрушками, с нашими игрушками вместе с дядями. Remember, okay, I absolutely felt in love, so be careful with the spelling. It should be fell in love, right? Because felt is the past form of feel, чувствовать. Another one, every toy was worth its weight in gold. Excellent. So I really love, Nikita, that you Google for this phrase. I think it's a tough one. You don't really have to memorize it. I think it's not that popular in the English language as we use it in our own Russian language, but still it's good that you Googled for it and you did it right. It's still really shocking me that nowadays my younger brother, something. I wasn't really sure about the wrong tense here. If you say, it is really shocking me, like you are always in the progress of that, and maybe one day this progress will finish. But it seems to me that it will be like your regular activity. It will be your some true fact about your life. So I would change it. So for something that happens pretty regular, we change it to present simple. Present simple, so it will be, it still really shocks me. It still really shocks me that nowadays my younger brother has tons and stuff. Okay, let me see. Just a couple of things more. I remember that I've had another favorite toy. So again, wrong tense, because when we talk about our childhood, this is something that happened in the past and stayed in the past. So there is kind of no reference to the present moment whatsoever. You cannot be a child for the second time, all right? Compare it. For example, when I was a child, I went to Moscow. So I was 5 when I went to Moscow, then I was 15 when I went to Moscow, I was 20 when I went to Moscow. So you can say, I've been to Moscow 3 times, because there is a chance that in the future, you will also have a chance to go to Moscow. And this experience will happen again. This is why we use present perfect to focus on our experience for the present moment. But when we discuss something that happened to us as children, and it's connected only to our childhood, and it cannot be repeated again, like we cannot go to school for the second time, or I cannot be a child from a kindergarten. That's why everything that we describe about this period of time in our life, we will refer to it as past simple tense or past continuous if we need to underline the process. So we change present perfect to past simple. I remember I had another favorite toy, past simple. So we drop have. I had another favorite toy during my later childhood. So this is like the marker of past simple during my later childhood. So in my mind, I create this I visualize it that this would be maybe, let's say, a couple of years when you were in primary school, or maybe it was your last year in kindergarten, something like this. So it would be really, really specific year, and this experience cannot be repeated. You are not going to have the same favorite toy when you are 30 or 40 or 50 years old. That were the greatest robots. Here I put style. I would just intensify and say the greatest robots ever. Okay, so just to intensify this moment. But without ever, it's still a great sentence. So don't worry about that. I think that was it for today. So I've had not a lot of answers. So next time, if you guys are more active, you will have a chance to see more of grammar review, yes, and more of my explanations. So you're welcome to participate. I'm always eager to read your comments, and I get really, really excited. So thanks for watching, and till the next time. Goodbye.